What should I wear today? A leather jacket? A green top? Or shiny blues? I have nothing to wear. It is not always easy to know what to wear, but buying clothes has never been easier, especially since fast fashion appeared in 1990. Everything has to be produced quickly, frequently, and expensively. People burn through clothes at an unprecedented rate. Throwaway clothes became the norm. Some 130 billion pieces of clothing are produced worldwide each year. 60% of them end up in landfills, and less than 1% of all the material used is recycled. The conference in February in London brought together manufacturers, academics, and specialists in recycling to discuss the issue. Claire Dawson is a course director of fashion management at Coventry University, London.
We have fast fashion, which is mimicking all of the trends which are on the catwalk and making these clothes and trends available for everyone. And it has created a hunger for new, and so brands like Zara are dropping new collections in weekly or even quicker than this. And so everyone is wanting to buy new, it's available everywhere. The prices are dropping for many reasons, but some of them are due to goods being made in different parts of the world where labour prices are lower and the commodity prices are lower as well. And as the clothes get cheaper, we buy more.
Despite the globalization of fast fashion, there's a growing movement known as eco-friendly fashion. Instead of always buying new clothes, an increasing number of buyers are looking to vintage markets to shop for second-hand clothes.
So what did you get for today?
Some like a 1970s shirt.
Okay.
I wear 1950s today, but I normally wear 1970s at work. 1960s shoes.
So you're more into like the 60s. Your size more into
Everything.
Oh, everything.
Everything.
Okay. Why only vintage clothing?
Why? Because I love it. That's the only one thing, When I come to this fair and I find a jacket, maybe that is the one, only one thing I see, And then, if I don't buy it, I won't maybe meet the jacket again.
Do you care about the sustainability fashion and protecting the environment? Is that the reason why you started with vintage?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Not only that, because I like the design, old design, because you can't find it anymore. It's even like a tiny button,
Yeah.
It's, like 1970s, like big colors. That you don't really find them anymore. Like in a modern, like Zara or H&M.
At the fashion fair in Kensington Town Hall, Jack is an experienced vintage clothes dealer.
How long ago you're in the business of the vintage clothing?
About 4 years.
4 years?
3 or 4 years.
Why did you decide to be in this industry?
I don't know, it's just my dream job. Sell vintage clothing. It's interesting, it's different. I love it really.
And where do you get all your clothing here?
I get it all from a rag yard, which is basically a big warehouse where all the charity shops give it to this big warehouse, and it comes on a conveyor belt and I sort through it and pick out what I want.
Do you think this is going to be the future?
Yeah, definitely. Vegan and climate change and everything. It's more recycling and stuff now, so it's definitely going to be big in the future.
If second-hand shopping is the future, what are the benefits?
Number one is the environmental impact, so reducing the environmental impact. Also economically, so often when we shop second-hand, the prices can be lower than when we shop new. The other thing is the kind of what we call treasure hunting. So when you're shopping in a second-hand environment, it's quite different to a new environment. So it's quite exciting. There's different products around. We can find something new, quite innovative.
Apart from eco-friendly fashion, there's another movement named slow fashion, where designers are dialing back their pace and financial ambition, frees themselves to focus more on creating items with exceptional quality and reducing the environmental impact. Textile recycler Russell is one of them.
Well, I started because I was working in costume industry, making for films and stuff, and also I had my own studio, which I was making for adverts, but I couldn't find anywhere to recycle my textiles. The more I asked around, the more I realised there wasn't really any way to get it recycled. None of the charities were taking on larger volumes. So I started to do something on my own time, just making cushions and just trying to find a way to use the textiles up.
How do you choose sustainable materials to make products?
I think choosing the fabrics is pretty tricky actually, mostly from the economic side of it. Like a lot of the fabrics that I was looking at were just expensive basically, and then it meant my product was so beyond the reach of any normal person.
To make his product more affordable, Russell developed his own way of selecting fabrics.
Okay, so this is the sort of an example of what we would get from recycling customers. So it normally comes in big bags or whatever, and we have a lot of different stuff. So the first step's going through and then pulling out anything like big enough like this that we can cut a pattern piece out of. Everything goes through. You have to go through with a metal detector and make sure we've got no pins or metal or zip. And yeah, most of it, like even this sort of stuff. So a lot of it's like overlocking threads. It really does depend on who you're collecting it from. Then you end up with basically something like this, which is just a pure fabric selection with no pins, no nothing, and it's all ready to go. It goes through a bit of a process before it then gets shredded, and then we end up with something nice and fluffy, which comes out. It squishes up, but when it goes through the cushion machine, this fluffs up really well, and it comes out with a pad like that, which is got the same sort of weight and quality to feathers. It's not exactly the same, but I think it's the closest thing you can get without using feathers and it being sustainable. Ideally, I'd like to be the textiles recycler that's working with offcuts, because there's a lot of textiles recycling out there, but it's also concentrates on the garment industry. And at the moment, charities are finding it difficult to actually get rid of their scraps because they're not making any money out of it. All the stuff that's actually not resellable at any point is costing the charities money, because they are having to pay for labour to get it processed and shredded and things like that. So ideally, I'd like to take that section and run with that.
Reuse and recycled clothing and garments are both the future trend in fashion. But what about fashion brands? What are they doing to join the global wave of sustainable fashion? As Vika Katarisan, the founder of Adam and Alice, has her answers.
Coming from the Asian background, I have learned many things about ancient textiles, craftsmanship to create beautiful elements. We mainly try to use natural fabrics. Even this jacket, we use silk. It's a renewable fiber. So we are cautious about what fabrics we use and what elements that we use, which gets into our garments. When we are working our process in fashion industry, the more we use natural ways of making our fashion, it will contribute to sustainability. It might not contribute 100%, at least we can reduce the carbon footprint. I want to show people like what true fashion is. I call for evolution of the fashion. So we can be sustainable. We don't have to go and spend too much money buying crap and throwing them in the bin. We can buy with conscience, buy value, and it can last long.